Good morning, Art.
Good morning, sir.
This is the report. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It's good to be finished with it, sir. I thought I'd work hard over the weekend and get it out.
Well, how's the housing problem coming along?
Not so good. When I call up, it's okay. People say to come right over and they'll show me a house. But when I get there, as soon as they see I'm white, they say the house is rented or no longer available. Usually they're kind of vague and outwardly polite about it. But sometimes they slam the door in my face.
I'm sorry. I'm awfully sorry about this, Johnson. I feel, well, quite responsible about all this because, well, I hired you. I asked you to come here to work. I find these problems are by no means...
It's not your fault, sir. I decided not to live in a white neighborhood. I felt, under the circumstances, that it would be better for my family to live in a Negro neighborhood.
Well, it's a damn shame, the whole business. I guess it takes something like this to open your eyes. I had no idea. Of course, I knew what everybody knows, but it hadn't been personal. It hadn't touched me in a personal way. Have you made any arrangements for bringing your wife and family here?
Not yet. I don't think it's fair to them until I decide on a house. And I've decided to see this thing through right to the end.
Yes, I know.
Somebody's got to be first, or there won't be any first.
Yes, I know. Well, I'm a Negro, and I live in the predominantly Negro culture. But I can't understand how some people can only look at color. They don't seem to see persons. They only look at color.
I've lived with this situation all my life.
Yes, of course you have. Well, you have lived all your life what I'm just beginning to realize. See you for lunch?
Where are you going?
Well, I thought of the smorgasbord place over by the...
I'll be the only white man in there again. I don't mind it, although I don't like it. But should you do it?
Well, you're the one who's been talking about being the first guy to change things in a Negro neighborhood. But I can't see how you can talk about housing if you don't make other breakthroughs in other places.
Okay, you win. I'll be by a couple of minutes before 12.
All right, see you then.
Fine.
Why don't you speak to him, Art? Why don't you say anything to him?
What? What, Frank?
I said, why don't you say anything to him?
Say anything to who, Frank? What in hell are you talking about?
You didn't see him? You didn't hear him?
My God, are we going to have to go through this again?
You didn't see him?
No. Was he here? Well, I didn't see him because I can't see him. Aren't you able to get that through your head? Well, sometimes when you let me know he's in the room, I can see something very light. I get a sense of something very light being there, but I don't hear him when he talks. Does he ever speak to me?
He used to, but he doesn't anymore.
Well, even though I can't see them, I know they're there. On the street, on the highways, everywhere now.
They're human beings, Art. Can't you realize they're human? After all, of course, social and educational advantages. But that isn't their fault. Think of all the advantages, difficulties.
Oh, difficulties, hell. I get sick and tired of hearing about the difficulties of the whites. Why do they want to integrate with us? If they'd stay in their place, I wouldn't care about their existence. But, as my father has always said, give a white man an inch and he'll want to take a mile.
Listen to me a minute, Art. Excuse me. Hello? Earth reporting. You say you need 50 tons of radium by tomorrow morning? Well, I think we can manage that. Yes. I'll do what I can, sir. Thank you. Well, that was interesting. That was a call from Crispus Atticus, the new housing development on Mars. Look, Art. Put yourself in a white man's shoes, can't you?
No, I can't do it.
Well, look, take Johnson, for example. Well, he's one of the first white men of the white race to ever, become qualified for an executive position in this office. He's trying. Hasn't he the right to try? Is he stepping on your toes?
Stepping on my toes? Let him try. Let a white man try stepping on my toes, and you'll see one less white man in this man's world. They aren't real to me. I can't really see them on any individual basis, but I hate them, Frank. I just don't like whites. I can't stand their lack of color. They have a smell. I can't describe it, but sometimes in a crowd I can sense it. Weren't they better off as slaves? They were treated well, especially under the late paternalistic movement. The lines are clear. Well, the lines were clear, that is. Listen, if a white man comes near my daughter, and I can tell he's there, if I'm able to see him, if a white man so much as looks at her,
I know a number of whites fairly well, Art, and I venture to say a white man is not interested in marrying your daughter. What he's interested in, what he's concerned with is voter registration, job opportunities, youth incentive, housing, education.
Oh, I see. So you tell me Johnson isn't content here working in a Negro office. He wants to move into a Negro neighborhood. Well, as far as I can see it, it boils down to simply what my father has always rightly said. Give a white man an inch and he'll take a mile. I want him to stay in his place. Are you aware of the moral problem involved in this fight?
Moral problem?
Did you notice the report this weekend concerning the increase in white teenage crimes? Whites breed like rabbits. They're destroying the moral foundation of our whole society. I even wonder if the white race isn't biologically inferior.
Well, it's all right for a white man to pay taxes and serve in the armed forces.
Taxes, of course. A white man ought to pay for the privilege, certainly, of being a citizen. As for serving in the armed forces, no. I'm opposed to it. It gives him too much status. I say keep them down, Frank. Keep them down. But use them as a workforce, yes, but give them separate facilities in everything.
But you know, I know, we all know that...
Yes, I know. Separate facilities can't be equal facilities. So I say, give them unequal facilities.
Exactly what do you propose to do with the national constitution? Under the new law, the white man has equal rights.
Equal rights to touch my daughter? Equal rights to marry my daughter?
Well, listen, it's impossible to discuss this thing rationally with you, Art. It's simply impossible.
Well, let's not discuss it, Frank. Let's not talk about it at all.
I'm going to have a cup of coffee. How about you?
Yes, please.
I suppose you want to...
I want it black.
Yes, of course. Hello. Would you please send down 2 cups of coffee to 2206? Yes. 1 with cream and 1 black. That's right. Thanks.
Damn white. Dirty wiggers. A bunch of dirty wiggers.
I've asked you not to use those terms when speaking about whites. I find it rather offensive, Art. After all, we've got to learn to get along with them. You know, sometimes when Johnson's in the office and you don't know he's here, you say some rather well, embarrassing things about whites. And I'm sure he's hurt. You've got to be very careful, Art, with what you say, because you never know whether he's here or not.
We are supposed to treat them as equals, aren't we? Isn't that what you're saying all the time? We're supposed to be relaxed about it, not play roles or be phony. Well, hell, can I speak the truth as I see it in front of them? I don't commit the crime. If there's something biologically inferior in the white man, which makes him less a man than I am, I didn't invent it. I didn't dig it up, Frank. Are you saying that the white man can't take it? Well, if he's that immature, he shouldn't be working in this office. He shouldn't be claiming executive responsibility.
He's not claiming responsibilities that he hasn't the right to. This is a new age. And under the new law, the white man has never been granted the privileges for hundreds of years.
It's clearly in the Bible that integration is a sin, Frank. Well, it's shocking how so many ministers are distorting the meaning of the Bible these days. I've had to change churches twice to hear sermons that I know are correct about this. Lord, it's a lot of trouble canceling my pledge in one church and starting a new one in a new church.
Oh, we simply can't discuss this at all, Art. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Frank, I don't know if you are aware of it or not, but there's a new organization which will, which will not admit colored men who are too light-skinned. I'm a member of it, and we are concerned with safeguarding the purity of the race. We are having a meeting Thursday night, and I would like for you to come to this meeting as my guest.
Well, I'm sorry, Art, because we have to do something at school with the boys that night. I'm sorry.
Pardon me. I wonder if you have a copy of the new health report?
Hello? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I am alone. Yes. Is that right? That's very funny.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Listen to me.
I couldn't tell you, John.
Listen to me, I'm
It's
here.
difficult right now.
Look at me.
So much work to do. What
I'm
about
real.
Tuesday?
I'm real. I'm real.
No.
I'm here, look at me.
What about 10 o'clock Tuesday morning?
I'm real.
Get